estado recibiendo adiestramiento cómo escribir dramas y yo estoy seguro que ha sido una experiencia muy buena para ellos y nos lo van a demostrar a base de unas lecturas que van a hacer frente a todos nosotros. Así que los felicito de todo corazón por el esfuerzo que ustedes han hecho. Welcome to la Casa de la Herencia. Today we are going to conclude the seminar on drama art, we can say dramaturgist art. Huh? So it has been a very, very educational experience for the young people that took the seminar. And we will see their presentation today, and you will see the caliber of these young people. Of course, I was not part of the group. I just took some glance of the conversation, and really I learned a lot. Although I missed something, I remember that when I went to college, I always thought that the inclusion of the cradle of civilization, that is the Grecia, I would say the era of Pericles, 5 centuries before Christ, where we had so fantastic dramatists. Todo era dramático y muchas tragedias, but I think that in the next one, Alicia, I'm going to recommend you to include that, because it is very important that they know the origin of this part of literature. Okay? So with you now, Alicia, the director of Danssaae.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for your patience. I want to welcome you to la Casa de la Herencia, without which this could not have been possible for Danssaae to hold this playwriting seminar classes. We have with us VIP crowd. First of all, we have a section that arrived here from the Screen Actors Guild. We have playwrights, renowned playwrights, Carmen Rivera, who is seated, a good friend. And as the executive director of Danssaae, I am very happy when friends of mine, when people that have done a lot of important things decide to cooperate with my organization, which is very small and very nonprofit. We received a small grant to do this. I haven't had anything to do with it. I'm an actress and sometimes a director. I put this workshop in the hands of playwrights to teach the next generation of playwrights how to write, or at least give them the creative hand so they can develop their own style. I have also with us Tony Betancourt, who is another playwright, and also he works on a newspaper. Where is he? Here. Okay, Tony Betancourt. We also have Anita Vélez Mitchell, who's an actress, a renowned Puerto Rican playwright, and she will be reading some of her material too. Anita? I also have with us Angel Elan, who's also the chairman of Danssaae's board. He's going to be reading his material. And just one thing, in Spanish, I know I'm speaking in English, ¿hay alguien que no habla inglés? Good.
Yeah, good.
Okay, because the readings you will hear are going to be in English and Spanish. And I want to introduce our wonderful teacher, who is also a playwright with several published works, Eli Alvarado.
Well, thank you very much. As I will tell you, this course, in playwriting, was a sort of introductory course. Naturally, we had 8 weeks, every Saturday for 2 hours. We didn't have enough time to go deeply into it. but we did touch on most of the most important aspects in playwriting. Besides that, I had a very beautiful group of students which were very responsive, and they did encourage me also. I mean, so on Saturdays, at the beginning, I used to prepare myself. I used to take some books on playwriting and then make some notes. But that by the last sessions, I didn't even do that because I felt so nice with them. I could talk to them spontaneously, and it was nice though. So now we are going to read some of the work they've done. What we did was, Alicia and myself, we assigned 4 poets of Latin America. From Puerto Rico, Julia de Burgos. From Mexico, Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz. From Argentina, Alfonsina Storni. And we had another one, but the lady I was supposed to write about her from Salome Ureña from the Dominican Republic. She couldn't make it today. However, you're going to hear some work, very nice works. You will see that these young people, they do have talent, and they know how to put it in paper, how to create. That was our main purpose, to encourage their creativity. I'm going to bring now, before you, get my glasses. Jessica Carmona. She wrote something, very short, but it was something nice, about Alfonsina Storni. Okay, Jessica? You could do it from there too.
Okay, let's stand over here.
Or,
Wherever you want it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to be speaking in English, so hopefully everyone can understand. Like he said, each of us selected a poet from Latin America, and my poet was Alfonsina Storni, and she was from Argentina. And just to tell you a little bit about her, she was a very political woman. She had very strong political opinions about women's rights and the way that women were presented, the way that women were treated in her country. So she had this strong desire to fight for women's rights, for the right to women to vote and, you know, have good jobs and all of that. But at the same time, she suffered from internal conflicts because she wanted to be accepted in society. She wanted, you know, to fall in love and to have a family and all those, you know, she wanted to be, you know, a señora también, you know. So her poetry was very critical of the society that she lived in, and it was very, you know, it was very judgmental. Sometimes people viewed her as attacking men, and so a lot of times she would get negative reviews, and people would criticize her, saying that she's just an unhappy old woman, and she just decided to write all this, you know, all this junky poetry about, you know, her own problems with her own unhappy life. And so that's something that she had to deal with, is the harsh criticism of her poetry. So just something, I mean, she has a whole long story, but basically her father owned a beer brewery. That's how he supported the family. And the brewery, it failed after a few years. It was just a complete failure. And because of the failure of his business, her family went into severe economic struggles. And so that had an effect on Storni. At a very young age, she had to get a job and help support her family. By age 12, she was working in the factory, and so that affected all of her writings. And a lot of the critics say that that's why she became so bitter, was because she had such a hard life, you know, with her family. So I've kind of taken that section of her life, what the failure of her father's business did to her, what it did to her family relationships, and how it affected her friendships with people. So the first part I'm going to read is a letter that Alfonsina is writing to her friend Mari. Mari is a childhood friend of hers. They went to the teacher school together, the college, and Mari is currently in Guatemala, working at a school over there. So Alfonsina is in Rosario, which is a small town in Argentina, and she's writing to her friend Mari in Guatemala. Dear Mari, my good friend, how are you? How is life? I have so much to tell you about. So much has happened since I've last seen you. I have recently been appointed as a teacher here in Rosario. Next week, I am going to Buenos Aires to give a lecture on writing, but then I will return here to Rosario to settle into my new job. I like Rosario very much. It is very peaceful, quiet, and nice. I feel in touch with nature here. I have found a circle of friends already. There are 4 of us women and 3 young men. They teach with me at the school. We have had dinner together at least 3 times since the school year started. We alternate between whose house we go to each week. Over dinner, we talk a lot. They're not the most political of people, but they are educated and they're eager to hear what I have to say. Karen and Sila are from Buenos Aires, the big city. For them, this rural life is a big change. The men are okay for men, what can I say? At least they're well educated and they don't degrade women. Not yet, anyway, we'll see. Juan has been walking with me to the school every morning. He lives just a few streets down from me. He is a poet also. Mari, I have so much to tell you. Tonight we are all going out dancing. Can you believe it? In this quiet rural town, there is actually a dancing club. Sila thought we should try something new. It took some convincing to get me to go, but they finally got me to agree. Well, the truth is that I want to go. I am looking forward to it. Sometimes I feel old, Mari. I want to feel young and alive and pretty again. My only fear is that my passion for women's rights will isolate me and make me old too quickly, or tired, or God forbid, bitter. I would hate to be called bitter. What an awful word for a woman. I think I will die the day someone calls me that. Seriously though, please write me soon and fill me in as to what's going on in Guatemala. I read a news article about the Women's March for Equality. Did you go? What was it like? I miss you very much and I can't wait to see you next month. I have so much to tell you. Con cariño, Alfonsina. P.S. Have you been following what's been going on in Russia? It's all rather exciting, don't you think? Do you think this Lenin character is sincere? I haven't heard any female leaders in that Bolshevik party of theirs. Write me and tell me what you think. I have so much to tell you. Give my love to the family, Alfonsina. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention is that at the end of her life, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and not long after that, she killed herself because of that diagnosis. So that was the letter. Now this is a few. This is like a week later. Remember in the letter I said that she was going to be lecturing at the university to the students. So the next scene takes place at the university in Buenos Aires. And I'm just going to ask Jenica and Rebecca to come up and help me read it. Do you need to go by answer? Yeah. The scene is in the ladies' bathroom at the university in Buenos Aires. Today, Alfonsina Storni is going to give a lecture to the second-year writing students in the professional writing program. Storni has come 1 hour early to prepare her lecture, and she has stopped to use the ladies' room. While she is in there, some of the female students from the class enter the ladies' room to freshen up. They talk. They do not know that Profesora Storni is in the room with them. She hears the following conversation. So, did you do the reading? Yeah, barely. I could hardly get through it. It was like drudging through Marx's Das Kapital or something.
I liked it.
It was okay. I've read better. But she's not so bad. She's just so deep, you know? Almost too emotional. I can only take so much of that. Doesn't she have any happy poems?
Yeah, a few actually. She fell in love with a married man once. She wrote some nice poems about that. She really loved him.
I didn't get a chance to read any of those, only the depressing and angry ones.
Yeah, she does sound angry. I think she's just had a really hard life and she's trying to make sense of it. She's trying to heal herself through her poetry.
Maybe.
I like the way she writes about how she really feels about men, women, and the world. I mean, she could be writing sonnets about the beauty of red roses, or the sun, or the joys of motherhood. Something feminine like that. But Storni writes about her soul, her spirit, her split consciousness and her emotions. It's not all anger, really. It's very dark. It's very daring. And that's what I like about it.
She's kind of hard to figure out, though. Are you a feminist or an idealist? What does she want exactly? Does she even know? Love. I think she definitely wants love.
And vengeance. She's angry about what she's been through.
I agree with that. I did see her need for love and acceptance by men, in spite of all the anger she has towards them. She wants to be their equal. She's almost like a child, deprived of love and attention, throwing a fit, demanding to be heard. Interesting analogy. Maybe she'll take some questions and answers after her lecture. I'd like to ask her what her take on women in the military is.
Yeah, let's try and sit in front, okay? So she can see our hands.
The ladies drift out of the room. The door closes. Alfonsina has heard everything. Her face is expressionless, but her eyes have fear. She looks at herself in the mirror. She speaks to herself out loud. Just say what you have to say. Speak your words and do not worry what they think. I am a woman. I am strong. I am not afraid. Women are strong. I will make you so proud of me. I will make you happy. Thank you. Okay. And then, let's see. I kind of need help reading this one too.
Okay, which one?
The June, the childhood one. You don't have it.
Okay.
Or actually, you know what? No, that's okay. Okay. So the next scene, Alfonsina is in her kitchen cooking dinner. She is very upset because she has just read a very bad review of her poetry in a major literary magazine. So, once again, they're always calling her, critical and, bitter and all this stuff. Alfonsina. Bitter old woman? Ha! Who does he think he is? I'm not bitter. I am a fighter. Just because I want to fight for some change in this country, that makes me a bitter old woman. She bangs a large metal spoon against the pot harshly and loudly. She puts the spoon down and searches for spices to add to the food. She is quiet. Her hands are trembling with anger and something else. The tears start to roll. She lets the words take root. She sighs a sad sigh. Dios mío, what if he's right? Is that what I have become? She leaves the stove and takes a seat at the table. She feels dizzy and weak. Her head is spinning. Her body slumps into the chair. She lies her head down on the kitchen table. During the next several minutes, Alfonsina is remembering a very specific incident from her childhood. The following scene is a reenactment of what Alfonsina is remembering in her head. A beautiful summer day in July. Alfonsina and her friend are at home with their mother. Alfonsina and her friend are in the bedroom painting their nails and other young girl-and-girl activities, makeup and hair. Mom is bustling around as usual. She is now doing the laundry. She is in one of her moods. Mom puts everyone ill at ease, tense and uncomfortable. Dad enters, cheery and happy as usual, at least on the outside. Hello, ladies, I'm home. Alfonsina and Madi, her friend, are ecstatic to be relieved from the tension of Mom's presence. Dad always cheers them up. Alfonsina, hi, Dad, can we go to the beach today? It's so nice out. Dad, yeah, sure, whatever you want. Let me go upstairs and get my bathing suit. Do you girls have towels? Alfonsina, I have mine. Madi, yeah, me too. I'm bringing a blanket and a book. Don't forget the suntan lotion. Dad, honey, do you want to come with us to the beach? Mom, no, there are things to do around the house. I don't want to go anywhere until this house is clean. Alfonsina, do you hear me? Is your room clean? Did you sweep and mop the kitchen yet? Alfonsina mumbles a response. Once again, Mom has ruined another beautiful day, burst her bubble. Dad, can't we do that later? Let's all go have fun for a while. Mom, angry. No, I don't want my girl to grow up filthy
like your family. No one, no one is going anywhere until this house is clean. Do you understand me? The argument has begun. Alfonsina is disappointed but not surprised. Dad, wait a minute, don't you bring my family into this. You keep your comments to yourself. Mom, it's true. You're showing her that cleanliness is not important, teaching her to be like your family, sucios, puercos. That's the kind of thing that she will grow up with and carry over into her life. She will be sloppy and become a failure like you. I don't want her to be like you. Dad, oh, and do you think that I want her to be like you? Selfish, grumpy, and unhappy? Shut your mouth, you've said enough today. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. You've said enough today. Mom, look at your daughter. At 12 years old, she's working like a peasant already because of your failure. The ceiling has a leak, the sink is clogged, the lawnmower doesn't work, and you can't fix anything. You're a bruto, an idiot who has no use for his hands. Get out of here. Mom's words sting. They pierce like a sharp knife. Alfonsina feels the extent of the cut as if the words were aimed at her as well. Dad, come on, Alfonsina, let's go out for some ice cream. Mom, I told you I don't want you leaving this ice cream. They hurry out with Dad, with Mom yelling at the door. Later that same day, Dad is slumping down on the living room sofa. It has been a long day. Everyone is tired and worn out. Mom's words hang like a dead weight in the air. It has been several hours since the argument, yet the memory is fresh and new. Alfonsina knows that Dad is hurting. She comes down to the living room to be with Dad and cheer him up. Alfonsina, hi dog. Dad, hi cat. Alfonsina, what are you doing? Dad, oh nothing, just relaxing. What about you? Alfonsina, same. There's an awkward silence. Dad, do you like this house? Alfonsina, yeah, why? He shrugs. Yeah, I like it a lot. Dad, Alfonsina, do you feel deprived? Alfonsina, no, why would you say something like that? Dad, well, just asking. Do your friends ever ask you what your father does for a living? Alfonsina, yeah, sometimes. Dad, what do you tell them? Alfonsina, that you used to run a beer brewery, but that you're taking some time off. There's a long pause. She lies down on his lap. I think you're great, Dad. I feel very lucky to live here. You're a cool guy. Dad, flattered. Oh, thank you. You're a cool girl. He pats her forehead, and then he dozes off. Alfonsina, I love you, Dad. He is asleep again in that pathetic slouch. I love you. End dream. And then, okay, so she's been daydreaming, reenacting the scene in her head. So now we're back to the present. Alfonso, her son, enters the home. 25 minutes has gone by while Alfonsina has been daydreaming. The food on the stove is burning. Alfonsina is still out cold. Alfonso sees his mother, smells the burning food, and panics. Alfonso, Mami, Mami, ¿qué te pasó? Mami. He shakes her awake. The emotion has tensed up her whole body. She is a little bit uncomfortable, but determined not to live up to the label she had received earlier that day. Alfonsina to herself, I am not bitter or old. I am happy, alive, and well. Alfonsina out loud to her son, Hijo, estoy bien. Okay, oh, it seems like it's so long. Okay, the next one is a love scene. Remember in the letter she was telling Mari that they're going out to a dance club. So this is Alfonsina at the dance club.
Did you want to get someone to read me out?
Well, Does someone?
Do you want to read Neil?
Oh, Neil? Sure. Sure.
Sam's filming it, can you read it?
Sure. Impromptu. You have the for me to read? Do you have the script or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I haven't seen it, so.
This is a cold reading, everybody.
Reading.
Really cold.
Right, you're reading Neil. Okay, it's a dance club in Rosario. Alfonsina and her friends. It is about 10 p.m. on a Friday night. All of them are having a pretty good time, mingling and drinking a little bit, talking with each other. Being that they are all intellectuals, they are not very used to this setting, the bright lights, the music, the boisterous crowd. They are more accustomed to academic circles, discussion groups, and poetry readings, but they're still having fun. Alfonsina has been drinking, and she is alone on the dance floor, thinking about the events of the evening. I enjoyed getting dressed up tonight, she thinks to herself, putting on makeup and perfume. I even painted my nails. Something is happening to Alfonsina. She is being brought back to her youth, the bright and lovely little girl she once was before her childhood was taken away from her, before her family's financial problems worsened and she had to support her family. It is almost as if she were going back in time. She is being given another chance to be young and to have fun. I never wanted to be deep. I was forced under.
Excuse me, says the man standing near her. The alcohol has made her speak her inner thoughts out loud. She's very embarrassed.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm very sorry. She walks away from the dance floor and to a chair by her table. The man, Neil, is curious and he wants to talk to her. He makes his way over to her and sits down next to her. He extends his hand.
I don't think we've met. I'm Neil.
I know. Sorry. She smiles. A few quiet moments pass.
Nice weather. It's an awkward moment. At least it's not raining.
Alfonsina just blinks.
I'm trying to stay above water here.
What?
I don't want to go too deep, force you under or anything.
She understands his joke, a reference to her earlier comment, and lets out a big laugh.
You have a beautiful smile. What's your name? I have that effect on people.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's just like when you write, it's so personal, and then when you have someone else read it, like it's just different than what you have in your head.
I'll hold so you won't shake so much.
Okay, thanks. My name is Alfonsina.
Point to where we are since I'm blind. Okay, I take it you don't like this kind of music.
Well, I don't really know it. Do you come here very often?
I've been here a few times. A good place to have fun.
She nods and then looks away.
Why are you looking away from me?
I'm not. I'm just looking around the room. She fidgets with her glass of wine. She feels something with this man. A few moments go by.
So, who forced you under?
The question surprises her. Then she tries to laugh it off. Listen, Neil, let's just forget what I blurted out over there. I wasn't making any sense.
I thought you made perfect sense.
Something about the way he says this makes her feel very comfortable. I try to go swimming at least once a week. Alone, though, never with anyone.
Of course.
I stay pretty close to shore most of the time, just in case. I had to learn how to swim again, at my own level, my own pace. I need to feel in control again.
Do you feel in control right now?
Yes, I think so.
Because if you feel like you're in too deep, you can always go back to shore.
She nods. He edges closer to her, touches her hair. A couple of minutes pass.
The beach is lined with lifeguards, so they won't let you drown.
Alfonsina lets out a little laugh. I thought I had already drowned.
No, you didn't drown. You just drifted away a little bit. But they caught you. They won't let you drown. Takes her hand. Are you still okay?
She nods. He caresses her hand.
Alfonsina, can I kiss you?
She nods. They kiss. They are quiet for some time. Neil, have you ever loved someone so much and hated them at the same time? She has blurted out her thoughts again, but she is less embarrassed this time. He looks at her.
Tell me about how the water can be so beautiful and yet so scary. His fingers circle her lips. Lifeguards are lining the beach. You can only drown if you want to.
There's another one, but I think we're kind of going over time, right?
Right.
We have, yeah. But, okay, that's all I'll share today. Thank you
Okay,
for
wonderful.
listening.
I have a question. What year did she write that letter to Guatemala? Do you know what year?
Yeah, 1916, 17, you know, when the stuff in Russia was going on. Like,
16 or 17.
yeah, early 1900s.
Good.
Our next reader is Angel.
Oh, okay. Do me a favor, just stand by the mic 1 second, just so I can focus on you, and then I'll stand over there if you don't mind.
So our next reader is Angel.
Okay,
Angel,
take
what's
two.
your second name? Alan, no?
Ilan. Ilan, I pronounce it Ilan.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Well, my piece is about Julia de Burgos. And one of the things that really touched me, moved me about her more than anything was that she died literally just a couple of blocks from here, on the street, all by herself, an alcoholic. And then the irony of that is that no more than a couple of blocks down the road, some 30, 35 years later, a building that was an abandoned building that was actually going to be made into a drug rehab center, it had originally been a schoolhouse, was now reborn and called the Julia de Burgos Cultural Center, honoring her. And during her life, this is a woman who was constantly looking for love and looking for acceptance, looking for love from men, something that she struggled with her entire life through disappointments. And she was consistently looking for the approval of her peers, something which she also did not have. And unfortunately, she died never having seen the fruits of either of those two things. And it's funny because today, she's considered probably one of Puerto Rico's greatest poets ever. So when I started to write a little bit about this, I didn't want to make it, you'll see, for those of you who know her well, you will see in things that aren't accurate, supposed to maybe time or place or situation, because I didn't want to concentrate and really hold myself to a standard of having to be perfectly accurate. I wanted to let myself go and just write. So this is a piece of fiction. But the way I wrote it was, I was thinking of her when she was lying on the ground, as she was dying. And I thought to myself that how she must have gone through moments when she was semi-conscious, going in and out of consciousness before she was dying. And every time she would go into a sleep state, she would have a dream. And she would have a dream about her past. She would have a dream about her life. And that's what this piece is basically about. And I wrote it, as I go from one of those dream states to another, I will be calling them Dream 1, Dream 2, and so forth. So you'll get an idea of the breakup of how she's going in and out of this trance state as she's dying. Dream 1. Can you hear me without this? Is that good? This is, if you don't mind. This pen is bothering me. Is that okay? Okay. I worked cleaning and ironing clothing for a somewhat wealthy family for 6 cents a day. This was at a time when 3 cents could buy you a pound of coffee, 2 cents some chewing tobacco for my father, and a penny bought some sugar for my mother. The people I worked for were my mother's cousins, and they raised cows, chickens, and grew oranges for their income. They had 5 children, And I would also cook for them on the weekends. They would all eat together in the living room, rice and beans and meat. I had to eat in the kitchen, rice and beans, no meat. But I was a happy young girl, and I wanted to save my pennies and one day go to college. My family laughed at me, and my neighbors thought that I was arrogant, thinking such lofty thoughts. I should be like all the other women and know my place. But today, I wasn't thinking about such negative thoughts. For you see, today, I was going to una gira. It's a festive party filled with music of cuatros and guiros, men singing aguinaldos, and the women singing back a response to their songs in a chorus. There would be sweet and cold drinks of guarapo, and drinks made of coconut juice, pineapple, and ron caña. And a whole roast pig with crispy cuerito skin, and plenty of verduras, and all kinds of root vegetables. And most importantly, was that Luis had asked me to join him there. He was a poor boy with no shoes, who worked with his father, Don Juan, sowing tobacco for the local grower, Don Quintin. He was as skinny as he was happy-go-lucky and cocky. All the girls loved him because he had a way of sweet-talking them. But I didn't care because, you see, he had asked me to the dance. The way to the Hida was a very rocky and muddy path, cut into the winding mountainside. So I took off my shoes so that they wouldn't get dirty before I got to the dance. I was also very careful not to get my new white dress dirty, which Doña Juanita had made for me. It had a pink sash cinched tight around my waist, which accented my tiny waist and already blossoming bosom. Doña Juanita said that the dress was perfect with my now waist-long black hair. And she gave me a little white embroidered handkerchief as a gift to go with me. A young lady should always have one, she said with a smile of affection. As I came up the hill, I could hear the music, and I could smell the kindling wood roasting the lechon. I went to one of the hundreds of little puddles of water that lined the path and washed my feet and dried them in the cool grass. I then put my shoes on and I combed my hair. I raised my head and put my shoulders back and walked into the crowd as proud as a peacock. They were all standing under the shade of two huge flamboyant trees and sitting on the huge rocks that made up the mountain community. The older women were running in and out of the brightly colored tiny wooden and tin houses, carrying pots of rice and beans and such. Then on the corner of my eye, I caught the sight of Luis, sitting on a chair with a drink in one hand, a cigarette in the other hand, and a woman twice his age sitting on his lap, kissing him. At that moment, my heart stopped, and I was no longer breathing. And my stomach felt like I had been kicked by a mule. And I thought that I was going to throw up or start crying hysterically. But I was too proud to let anyone see that, especially ese sucio. So I walked past the people, and I continued up the road, as if the party was not my final destination, just an obstruction in my way. At that moment, someone called, Julia, Julia, ven para acá. Then Luis jumped to his feet, knocking the woman to the ground. He yelled, wait, Julia, please wait, you don't understand, I can explain, wait. But I could not stop my pace, as I could not stop the tears streaming down my face. I could hear the bitch cursing at him, saying something about who the hell was I, and who the hell did he think he was? I walked for what seemed to be hours toward my cousin's house, who lived on the other side of the mountain across the river. As I got to the river, I realized that it had grown high and fast, too fast for me to cross safely. This was due to the fact that it had rained all the night before and early that morning. I stood there crying because, as so many times in my past, and unknown to me so many times in my future, I could neither go forward nor I could go backward without paying a price that I had not asked for. I was trapped by no fault of my own. Through the misty haze of my tears, I saw a white figure on the other side of the riverbank. A man on horseback crossing the river with little effort. As he came closer, I saw that he had a white-brimmed hat, jet black hair, very chiseled features, with high cheekbones reminiscent of Taino Indian blood. He wore a white guayabera, which is a hand-embroidered, long dress shirt. His spit-shine black shoes matched his pressed pants. And his spirited black stallion was a magnificent creature, with a proud and powerful gait and strong muscled neck and body. His saddle and reins were made of black tooled leather with what looked like mother-of-pearl trim. Together they looked like a vision from the novellas I had read and kept hidden from my mother under the bed. He was not a boy, he was a man. A young man, though quite older than me. I felt very much the girl in his presence. "Aguanta, cariño," he said, to which I indignantly replied, "Please don't call me cariño, for I don't know who you are, sir." He laughed. He laughed a soft but manly laugh that was endearing and disarming. He gave me goosebumps. He said, "Forgive me, miss, but I think you misunderstood. You see, my horse's name is Cariño. I was telling him to stop, not you." As he tipped the brim of his hat to me, my face became as hot as a frying pan, and it was red as one of my mother's prized tomatoes. And then I started to laugh nervously. He said, "Are you coming from the party?" And I said, "No, I'm going to my cousin's house across the river." He said, "Well, that's too bad because you're dressed so beautifully, and you'll be denying everyone and myself the pleasure of your company." "Is there a party at your cousin's house?" he said. I said, "No," and then he laughed again, that marvelous way that made me feel uncomfortably warm all over. He said, "The river is quite high and strong right now, and it would be a shame if you ruined your dress. May I give you a ride across the river?" I said, "Well, I'm sorry, but I really don't know you, and it would be improper." He said, "My name is Felipe de la Cruz. May I ask your name?" "My name is Julia de Burgos." He said, "Is your cousin Panchita de Burgos?" I was amazed and said, "Yes, she is." "Well, then we're almost family," he said, "for you see, my sister Tina is best friends with your cousin. As a matter of fact, both are at my sister's house right now. It's about a mile up the road from Panchita's. Now, if my sister knew that I let you cross the river and go up the treacherous road alone, she would be very angry with me. So you see, you'd be doing me a favor if you'd allow me to please escort you across the river and to her house safely. Please, don't deny me." I tried to look as if I was making a hard decision and tried even harder to conceal my excitement. I finally said, "Well, I don't want you to get in trouble or anything, and you have been a perfect gentleman." He said, "Thank you," and proceeded to dismount from his horse. I watched every move as if watching an artisan working on a priceless sculpture. He moved with flowing gestures, strong and confident. God, my heart was pounding. "Cariño, reza," he commanded, and the glorious beast knelt on its front legs so that I could get on easily. I had never seen any of the local hack horses do anything except eat, walk, and produce fertilizer. This steed was more like the show horses that the traveling Mexican show brought to the big city every year. And although he was powerful, I trusted that his owner had named him Cariño, which means kindness, for a very good reason. I climbed on the saddle, and then Felipe joined me. "Cariño, párate," he said, and the black beauty stood. He sat behind me and told me to hold on to the saddle horn, and he put one arm around me. He put one arm firmly around my waist so that I would not fall. At that moment, I fell in love. As the horse crossed the river and we rode through the stone path to the sound of clippity-clap from the horses' shoes hitting the stones. We rode through the narrow winding path, through the lush green mountains scented with the smell of the blossoms from the red flamboyant trees. I closed my eyes, and for a moment, to take a picture in my mind of a moment in time when everything was perfect. Perfect. And I was profoundly in love. Why? Why is it that all that is good is so fleeting? Why must the goodness in life run out the door as if to a pressing engagement? Why can't it linger a while before being replaced with the endless weight of disappointment and despair? My beautiful Felipe, what more could I have done? What didn't I do? Why did you stop loving me? Completely useless and yet perfect. This is what I became in my lover's arms. I was all that my lover needed. His washwoman, his tailor, his cook, his mother and confessor, his pinup girl, and his alibi. I was my lover's everything, and I was completely useless. We stood on different worlds, yet our hearts beat together. To pull us apart would be my freedom and would be my death. Love and water are two in the same. They have the power to rip through a mountain, yet a handful of it amounts to nothing. How could I have known how you felt? You were here, but you were on the other side of the world. I was your everything, but more than anything else, I was your excuse. Dream 2. I have known my mother, the river, since I was a little girl and felt her nurturing cool touch, the shimmering beauty of her eyes. She lovingly washed and scented my hair and body and quenched my thirst forever. Yet I had never met my father, the ocean, and the prospect of meeting him terrified me. Although he completely encircled my lush green fertile home, I've been hidden in the middle of that, never leaving to explore for fear.
Inspired to write about our chosen poet. So this is what I prepared. This is the book that I'm still researching. It's Sor Juana by Octavio Paz. My introduction is in English, but my play is in Spanish. I usually think in English, as I was raised, here. But I researched my main character, and as I was writing, she only spoke to me in Spanish, so the piece started to develop, and every time I'd get to the stage directions, it would all be in English. The stage directions would be in English, and then the writing would be in Spanish, so I was told I needed to clean that up. So I began researching Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz when this workshop first began 7 weeks ago. And I specifically chose her because she was Mexican, I am Mexican, and I felt it was my responsibility as a Mexicana to find out who she was and what she did in the history of Mexico. So I've begun the research, and I will continue it probably for the next 2 to 3 years to complete this piece. But to let you know a little bit about this intense woman, I will describe a little piece of her life, and then we will read 3 scenes for you that I have developed through the Danssaae workshop. I hope that my words will help you see this individual, because I'm very inspired by her life. Thank you. Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz was said to be born in 1648. She was born in a Mexican village near the volcanoes called Popocatépetl. I don't know how to pronounce that good. She was the daughter of Doña Isabel Ramírez de Santillana, the mother of 6 illegitimate children, 5 female and 1 male. Juana scarcely mentioned her father's name. She did not see him from the time that she was a small child. She learned to read when she was 3 years old by obtaining the instruction from her older sister's teacher. At age 8, she wrote her first dramatic poem. That same year, she was sent by her mother to live with her grandfather in Mexico City. So far from what I have read, no one knows the reasons why. Soon after that, her grandfather had died, so she was now 9 years old. She entered the house of the viceroy and vicereine in the court, and they found her extremely eloquent and intelligent. She became good friends with them, and they cared for her. She learned Latin in 20 lessons by a male friend that watched over her after she left the court. The viceroy and the vicereine were then replaced by others, and she was left alone at the age of 15, abandoned pretty much. As a female in colonial Mexico, her option was either to be a wife or to be a nun and not to become a scholar. The church discouraged her from her studies from the very beginning of her time in that convent. She abandoned the convent to recover from illness and dejection. A year later, she was examined by 40 professors from the University of Mexico City. They asked her questions in theology, scripture, philosophy, mathematics, history, poetry, and humanities, and was declared to be a genius. In around 1693, she sold all of her books and gave the money to the poor, then gave up all her contact with the world outside of the convent walls. She died on April 17, 1965, about the age of 44, while caring for her sister during a strong epidemic. There's just one quote that I want to express to you. Many times the church requested that she dedicate herself fully to the study of religion, and in response to that, she spoke of her addiction to study as in the following. My greatest enemy that I cannot determine whether the heavens gave me as a natural gift or as a punishment, for to extinguish or hinder it by the duties that religion demands would make me explode like gunpowder. So I've written 3 scenes, and you will hear my actresses, and they're cold reading too, but I feel that the writing has led them to be strong in their characters, so enjoy their work and mine. There's 3 scenes, they're quick. The first one is Pantalones, which means pants. The second one is called Viaje en la casa de Tata Juan, which means the trip to her house, to her grandfather's house. And the third one is at the convent. So enjoy. Sin pantalones. Characters Madre, Juana, Patricia, which is the hermana, and a niño. Juana tiene 6 años. Su madre está preparando la comida para cenar. Ella manda a Juana a comprar un mandado en la esquina.
Juanita, aquí tienes 10 pesos. Regresa con ajo, tomate y un frasco de leche.
Sí, madre, ya voy.
Pero Juanita, no regreses con ningún libro. Quiero que regreses con al menos 4 pesos.
Sí, mamá, no te preocupes.
Vas a ver, Dios, esta niña va a regresar con algo que no le pedí. Pues vamos a ver.
Madre sale. Juana en la esquina de la calle.
Señora, ¿me puedes encontrar un frasco de leche, un ajo y 3 tomates frescos?
Sí, no se preocupe, niñecita. Aquí te estoy vendiendo todo lo que tú necesitas. Aquí tienes. El total es 5 pesos.
¿Sí? ¿No más 5?
Pues si quieres, me puedes dar más.
No. Es que estoy sorprendida porque me sobró algo para mí.
Bueno, hija, ahora tu dinerito y un día te puedes comprar algo muy especial.
Sí, bueno. Adiós, gracias.
Ella sale corriendo con mucho entusiasmo.
Con este peso me puedo comprar un mundo nuevo, lleno de ángeles libres y pues aquí me lo pongo para que lo pueda poner en mi alcancía.
Se lo pone en un bolsillo. Mientras ella se habla, un niño está en la calle vendiendo pantalones viejos. 15, 20, 30 centavos, 15, 20, 30 centavos, compra un pantalón para su hijo, para su hermana, para... Oye, tú, ¿quieres comprar estos pantalones para tu hermano?
Pues no, gracias. No los necesito, porque no tengo hermanos. Pero... ¡Ah! Espérate un momentito. ¿A cuánto dijiste?
Pues con unos 3 hoyitos. Esos están un poco viejos. Pues para ti, 25 centavitos.
Aquí tienes un peso. Gracias, gracias.
Ella corre hacia su casa. ¡Espérate, tu cambio! Juana, mientras camina, se habla a ella misma.
pantalones azules como el cielo. Pues mira, combinan con este gran escenario que tenemos todos los días. Estos me los voy a poner yo, mis primeros pantalones. Los coso aquí un poquito y corto acá porque están un poco largos. Y luego puedo ser como un niño y me recoge el pelo hacia atrás. No, mejor me lo corto hasta las orejas para que no me mire como Pepito. Sí, Pepe es el de la esquina, pues como le gusta la escuela, yo puedo porque no le gusta la escuela, yo puedo decirle que yo asisto a sus clases. Y así, él se va a jugar con Esteban y Emilio en el patio.
Juana llega a su casa.
Ten, mami.
Le da a su madre la bolsa y corre hacia el baño.
Oye, Juana, ¿a dónde vas tan rápido?
Al baño, mamá.
Está bien, hija, pero esta cena la voy a cocinar rápido y necesito tu ayuda para arreglar la mesa.
Mami, ¿tienes hermana que te ayude? Pues que yo voy a durar un poquito tiempo haciendo algo aquí.
Juana, Patricia, vénganse las dos a arreglar la mesa.
Sí, madre, ya vamos.
Patricia se va al baño.
Oye, Juana, ¿qué haces allí?
Patty, ve y ayuda a mami, por favor. Estoy haciendo algo importante.
¿Qué? ¿Qué es tan importante? ¿Por qué le tengo que ayudar yo?
En 5 minutos se lo digo, te lo prometo, pero ayúdala antes que me llame otra vez.
Ah, bueno, pues.
A la madre.
Madre, yo lo hago. ¿Qué quieres que prepare? ¿La mesa?
Sí, hija, por favor.
Yo pongo la comida en la mesa también.
Ay, gracias, hija. Si puedes, seca estos vasos antes de ponerlos sobre la mesa. Oye, pues, ¿y dónde está Juana?
Por allí, en el baño, otra vez.
Juana, ¿qué haces ahí? ¿Estás leyendo otra vez?
No, madre, estoy preparando algo fantástico. En un segundo voy a salir. Tengo una gran sorpresa.
Está bien, pues. Apúrate porque la cena ya va a estar lista.
Madre sale del pasillo y camina hacia la cocina.
Ten, hija, aquí está la leche.
Madre suena la campana.
La cena está lista.
Otra hermana, Patricia, la madre y el padre se sientan en la mesa. Juana todavía está en el baño.
Juanita, te estamos esperando.
A la familia.
Ah, pues ahorita regreso. Voy a sacar esa niña del...
Antes que se puede retirar de la mesa, Juana entra al comedor.
Mamá, mira.
Sorprendidos, los miembros de la familia la ven.
Ay, Juana, ¿qué te has hecho?
Yo no soy Juana, yo soy Juan.
Pero Juana, ¿cómo crees que...?
Mami, así me puedes mandar a la escuela y la gente nunca sabrá que soy niña. Me parezco a un Juan, ¿verdad? ¿Verdad que sí?
Sí, te pareces a ese niño que anda por las esquinas pidiendo dinero. Mírate ese cabello, pareces pájaro loco.
Riéndose.
No te rías de esto, Patricia. Tu hermana no puede andar vistiéndose como un niño por aquí. Sabemos que este tipo de comportamiento no está permitido en nuestro hogar. Juana, vete inmediatamente a ese baño y cámbiate. Ponte tu vestido de rosas. Después de la cena, tú vas a ir conmigo a la tienda a comprarte trenzas postizas con tus propios ahorros. Y también no me has dado el cambio del mandado. No quiero oír que gastaste mi dinero en esos pantalones. Ándale, al baño.
Juana regresa enojada hacia el baño. Las luces empiezan a bajar. Escena número 2. Este se llama Juana en la casa de Tata Juan. Hay una proyección de diapositivas que dice 8 años. Juana tiene 8 años. La madre de Juana la manda sola a la Ciudad de México a vivir con su abuelo. Juana empieza a caminar hacia la casa de su abuelo, buscando el domicilio con un papel de direcciones en su mano derecha y su maleta en la mano izquierda. Camina por un tiempo y luego encuentra la casa de su abuelo y empieza a tocar. Una ama de llaves contesta.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Yo busco a la casa de Juan Orozco. ¿Estoy en el domicilio correcto?
Ah, sí. Sí, tú tienes que ser Juana Inés de la Cruz.
¿Estás en lo cierto?
Yo soy Anita, la ama de llaves.
Muchísimo gusto.
Ay, qué bellísima. Entra, aquí espera. Yo me llevo tus maletas. ¿Tú has viajado por cuántas horas? Ay, tienes que tener muchísima hambre. Vamos a llenarte ese estómago. Espera aquí, por favor, pon tu mente a calma.
Empieza a caminar hacia la cocina. Mientras camina, ella se habla.
Te voy a traer una comida deliciosa y una leche fresca, una fruta que sabe a dulce.
Juana empieza a caminar y a investigar la casa. Pues mira esta sala, este comedor de mi abuelo. Entra al comedor. Mientras habla, también baila y camina como una reina. En esta mesa yo voy a comer mucho pescado. Así me alimento. Me van a servir vino rojo y uvas verdes y coloradas. Tata Juan va a alzar su copa y dar un brindis a nuestra vida nueva. Sí, y cuando acabemos la comida, entramos a descansar en este cuarto aquí. Empieza a caminar hacia la alcoba. ¡Ay, mi Dios! ¡Cielos azules! ¿De dónde viniste? Hablándole a la alcoba. Mira, Juana, esta biblioteca que te encontraste. Mira todos estos libros. Todos estos cofres encantados que se pueden abrir y cerrar en cualquier momento, pero dejando aquí abandonados en libros para el tiempo libre y manos altas. Páginas y páginas llenas de palabras y fotografías. Mira ese sí que está iluminado, verde como el pasto. La cubierta del libro gruesa como una puerta de fierro o como el piso que nos mantiene aquí, aparte de la tierra que nos ensucia. Juana coge una escalera y se sube a alcanzar el libro. Lo baja y pone su almeja derecha sobre las páginas y empieza a leer. Solo yo estoy con muchísimas palabras. Sola yo estoy con muchísimas palabras. Yo quiero saber lo que dicen todas estas páginas. Yo me voy a llevar este y este y este y este también. Y nomás los voy a usar por un tiempecito. Abuelo nunca va a saber y ni los va a extrañar. Y si por de caso me pregunta si yo sé dónde están, yo le digo que los necesitaba para hacerme más alta al frente del espejo.
Juana, ¿por dónde andas?
Juana corre hacia la voz. Mientras oímos la voz llamando a Juana, las luces bajan. Esto es después que su abuelo se muere y ahora está en el convento. Y tenemos 4 personas: Juana, su amiga Beatriz, Clara Isabel y una monja. Juana tiene 15 años y ya entró al convento. En el convento está una amiga Beatriz, que la interrumpe un poco de sus estudios, y Clara Isabel es como una chismosa. Juana está en su alcoba leyendo un libro y alguien toca la puerta. Sor Juana recoge varios libros de su escritorio y los pone sobre el piso, para que aparezca como está ocupada leyendo constantemente. Ella desatranca la puerta cuidadosamente y calladitamente regresa a sentarse. Ella se pone varias calcetas allí enrolladas sobre los oídos para prevenir que algo la distraiga. Dice, alguien toca.
Entra.
Cuando la persona toca, Juana se pone las calcetas que usa para cubrir sus oídos. Su amiga entra y nota que Juana está estudiando.
Oh, hola.
Nomás entro para decirte que estamos en el cuarto de silencio en 10 minutos.
Pues bien, ya voy.
¿Qué haces?
Estoy leyendo, pero en un momento acabo y luego voy.
Ay, pues bien. ¿Quieres que te espere?
No, gracias, voy.
Clara pasa cerca de la alcoba y empieza a caminar rápidamente dentro del cuarto de Juana.
Juana, vamos, que hay que rezar. ¿Qué haces dentro de ahí con todos esos libros?
Clara empieza a mirar los libros de Juana sin permiso, con mucha autoridad. Mientras Juana está recogiendo, Clara se pone un libro detrás de su espalda.
¿Qué es lo que haces aquí sola todos los días con todos estos libros?
Juana recogiendo los libros y escondiéndolos bajo de su cama.
Nada, Clara Isabel. Tú ya sabes que a mí me encanta la literatura. Me gusta usar mi tiempo para leer y eso es todo. ¿Por qué estás interesada en alguno? No estoy interesada en ningún libro tuyo, Juana, ni por lo menos. Nunca pienses que quiero leer las cosas que tú lees.
Se empieza a ir.
Yo nomás leo los libros que debemos leer. Tú sabes, Juana, los de la iglesia.
Se empieza a ir y Beatriz y Juana se ríen un poco.
Oye, ¿no te enfada esa sangrona?
Pues sí, pero a la misma vez no. Yo sé que ella nomás quiere causarme conflicto y problemas, pero yo no tengo tiempo para sus juegos. Yo tengo mucha responsabilidad a estos autores. Ellos quieren que yo lea sus palabras, teorías y pensamientos.
Pues sí, te entiendo. Ahora vámonos.
Antes de salir, Juana se pone un libro dentro de su manga de vestido. Ellas entran a la área de oración. Las monjas ya han empezado las oraciones. Repiten la oración de la Virgen mientras todo lo demás continúa.
Dios te salve María, llena eres de gracia. El Señor es contigo, bendita eres entre todas las mujeres y bendito sea el fruto de tu vientre Jesús.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega Señora por nosotros los pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén. Mientras la oración continúa, Juana se va al baño en una manera calladita. Clara Isabel la sigue. Juana entra al baño sin ver a Clara Isabel. Clara Isabel toca en la puerta.
Juana, ¿qué haces ahí adentro?
Clara espera por Juana, pero no responde. Clara pierde paciencia y va a llamar a la monja superior. Finalmente, Juana responde, pero ya no está Clara.
Sí, ¿quién? ¿Está alguien ahí? Ya salgo.
Cuando sale, nadie está allí, se apura y regresa a hincarse con las otras monjas. Clara Isabel regresa con la monja superior en el baño. Tocan y nadie contesta.
¿Estás segura que alguien estaba en este baño, Clara?
Sí, madre. Aquí estaba alguien que no salía mientras estábamos rezando. Yo tenía que ir al baño y no salía. Se estaban escapando de las oraciones.
Abre la puerta y Clara Isabel pone un libro, el libro que se llevó de Juana, en el piso.
Mira, entra ahí, Sor Magdalena. Ahí está un libro en el piso.
A ver, déjame ver por ahí.
La monja entra al baño.
Sor Magdalena, ese libro es de Juana Inés. Yo lo vi hoy en su alcoba antes de venir a oración.
¿Estás segura?
Sí, madre.
¿Esto lo sabes cierto o lo estás suponiendo?
Sí, es de ella. Antes de venir aquí, ella lo estaba leyendo en su alcoba. Hasta Beatriz la vio.
Ve y llámale a Juana y dile que le quiero ver en mi oficina inmediatamente.
Minutos después, en la oficina de Sor Magdalena.
Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, tengo una sola pregunta y quiero que me digas la verdad. Te voy a preguntar esto una vez y solamente una vez. ¿Me entiendes?
Sí, Sor Magdalena.
Bueno, ¿este es tu libro?
Juana mira el libro por una distancia.
Pues, verdaderamente, Sor Magdalena, no. Sí, es cierto que se parece a mi libro de Platón, la alegoría de la cueva, pero ese libro lo tengo bajo de en mi alcoba con los restos de los libros, y no es posible. Yo no se lo he prestado a nadie.
¿Estás segura, Juana Inés?
Sí, ese libro lo tengo con los restos de mi librero y bajo de...
¿Con los restos?
Sí,
¿Y cuántos libros tienes en tu alcoba?
tengo 351.
¿Y no los has prestado a nadie?
No, a nadie. Nadie me los ha pedido.
¿Y en tu alcoba, en este momento lo tienes todos?
Sí, te lo puedo asegurar.
Juana, si tú no tienes tu libro de Platón, eso me indica que este es tuyo. Y este es tuyo. Vamos a tener un problema. ¿Ves, Juana? Alguien andaba saliéndose del tiempo de oración para leer este libro en el baño. Alguien lo dejó ahí, sobre el piso. Sí le olvido, mientras se lavaban las manos o se estaban mirando sobre un espejo. Tú estabas en el baño, ¿no?
Pues sí, pero pues ese no es mío.
Pues vamos a tu alcoba a contar el tuyo. Si no está en tu alcoba, te voy a tener que quitar los libros y ponerlos en mi estudio. ¿Entiendes?
Sí, madre.
Esta escena no está completa. Lo que sigue va a ser la escena en el cuarto de Sor Juana, donde vemos a Juana y Sor Magdalena contando los libros.
Okay, and see.
Ahora vamos a traer a Jenica Carmona.
Which is our last.
Ella nos va a leer algo sobre Julia de Burgos.
Thanks for sticking it out this long. Mine's short and sweet, so. Throughout the course of this workshop, my name is Jenica Carmona, by the way. Throughout the course of this workshop, I've centered my work around the Puerto Rican poet Julia de Burgos, and I found her work inspiring because in so many ways she was much a fighter. I'm not going to go into her whole biography, but just briefly, she fought a lot against traditional values and culture. Women in her time just didn't do the things that she wanted to do, and she did them anyway. So part of that was being involved in politics, being part of the feminist movement. She was very involved. She was very patriotic and very involved in the independence movement. And a lot of her work reflected these aspects of her life. So in that sense, I found her very inspiring, and I decided to work on her throughout this process here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a monologue, and it's Julia de Burgos spent some years in New York, and then she went to Cuba, but then she came back to New York. So this is during her first day in New York, when she's just moved. It's been a few months already since I've moved here. I like my new place a lot, even though it is a little small. It's hard to get used to New York City because it's so different from my home. I miss the river and the palm trees and being surrounded by nature all of the time. Here, everything is cement and brick, and everything is dirty. I was hoping to get some activity going on with some of the young Puerto Ricans here, but a lot of them don't really seem interested. They are just concerned with assimilating to American life. They've forgotten where they came from. I miss home so much that sometimes it's hard to focus on what I should be doing. A lot of people treat me weird because I am a woman and so involved in politics. I guess it's not typical around here. When I get stressed out, I write my poetry. It helps me get out some of the feelings that I struggle with. But I haven't gotten a lot of positive feedback from critics on my poems. I guess they're just not good enough in their eyes. But I will keep on writing them because they are my only source of comfort. I like to walk through the parks and breathe in the air, look at the hills and the trees. There are only a few parks like that in New York, but Central Park is definitely the nicest. It's so big. I like the ponds and watching the lovers walk hand in hand through the park, through the paths. It reminds me of my past love, how I miss him. Sometimes I get so lonely thinking about him that I drink myself to sleep. I know that it is not healthy, but sometimes it's the only thing that will get me through the night. That was following scene takes place in Central Park. It is early June on a Saturday. Julia is fighting one of her bouts of depression and is quite tipsy. She has come to the park to take solace in the beauty around her, desperate for relief from the feelings that are weighing her down. It is a combination of her intoxication and her sense of desperation for human interaction that prompts her to speak to the stranger that is seated next to her. They are both seated on a bench that overlooks a pond. There are ducks in the pond as well as pigeons flying about. Several families with children are noisily playing and shouting to each other. The person on the bench is a young girl, probably about 18 or 19, a freshman in college. She is young and fresh and innocent, but also very smart and compassionate for her age. She is not freaked out by Julia, but instead senses the loneliness in the strange woman who has come to sit down next to her. She had been writing in her journal when Julia sits down and sits next to her. Young girl, smiling. Hi. Julia turns to her, surprised by the greeting, and nods to her. She lays her head back and closes her eyes. She inhales and exhales deeply. Young girl, it's nice, isn't it? Being able to come to the park like this and forget about life's problems for a while? Shortly, roughly. The young girl takes this as a sign that the woman is not interested in a conversation, so she goes back to her writing. Several minutes pass. After a while, Julia, where I come from, I used to be able to do this all of the time. Young girl, looking up. Really? Where are you from? Julia, from Puerto Rico. Do you know where that is? Young girl, kind of. I mean, I've heard of it. Julia, Playas, Palmas, El Coquí. Young girl, I'm sorry? Julia, nothing. I was just speaking about the parts of my country that I miss the most. Do you believe in God? The girl is taken off guard by the question. It takes her a few seconds to respond. Young girl, well, sure, doesn't everybody? Julia, after a pause. I guess in some way or another, everyone has their own God. For some it's money, for some it's fame. I see God in nature. I hear him in the river. I see him in the trees. I feel him when I hold a baby. Have you ever been lonely? Young girl, I guess so. Yeah, well, I guess everyone does at some point of their life. It's actually quite natural. I mean, I was lonely when I first came here for school, but now I've made friends, so it's gotten better. Julia, what if you never make friends? What if you go through your entire life alone and never have one single friend to call your own? What then? Young girl, she is quiet, breathes deeply and looks around. I don't know. She seems to reach for words to comfort this strange yet fascinating woman, but is at a loss as to what to say. A voice calls her. She packs her things, looks back at Julia. Well, see you later. Julia, Young girl leaves, and Julia is left on stage, alone. Thank you.
And now our last reader is Lisa. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. I think our workshop participants are wonderful. Great. We have among us a renowned Puerto Rican playwright. She has written works such as Julia de Burgos, Child of Water, I think I'm saying it right, produced by the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. La Gringa, that's been playing for a very long time, and you could probably see it at some point at Repertorio Español, and her works have been produced everywhere. She is also a very talented lady, a nice lady, a good friend of mine, a supporter of new Hispanic talent, and her name is Carmen Rivera. I'd like to call her here so that she can give, especially these workshop participants, some encouragement. Do this. Okay.
I want to thank Alicia for inviting me. She's been telling me about the workshop for a long time.
Since the beginning.
Right, because she told me when she was going to do the workshop, and I think that's how new work gets developed. That's the only way. Workshops and writing and people who believe in writers, it's hard for writers to come and share their work because we work alone, and we're not actors who perform it in front of people. But I had a great time. I want to congratulate all the writers. It's hard, and it's hard to write about real people because we don't know what they were really thinking, and we don't know them, and we don't know. We're lucky we find people that might have known them, or might have seen them. And for people like Sor Juana or Francina, it's really hard. And for Julia, you might find some people, but I still don't know what Julia was thinking when she was on the sidewalk. But it's a journey that you take with the writer because they leave behind writing, they leave behind letters. So, and you are your art. So, just want to congratulate you guys, and I'm really happy. Angel, I'm glad you wrote, but I'm really happy there were women. I mean, it's great, you know.
Both men.
I know,
both men.
and it's a great because we need our voices to be out there. So, the filter was your filter's not Rebecca's filter, right? Are you Rebecca?
No, Jenica.
Oh, Jen. Oh, okay.
Okay, there you can make a
I
mistake.
know.
Twins. Jenica, Jessica, I can't tell them apart either.
But you have different takes on it, so it was really interesting. And I had a great congratulations and keep working, and I look forward to the finished.
We'll get you involved in the finish. We're going to keep doing this in the fall.
Oh,
We're going to
that's
develop
great.
it. We're going to develop it
Awesome.
acting-wise, and I'm going to call on you.
Okay.
You haven't seen the last of
I
me yet.
know, in front of witnesses and a tape.
Yes, right. You got everything.
No, con placer. It was great. Gracias. Congratulations.
Yes, Alvarado. Yes, yes. And I have one more guest with words of encouragement. She's the director of several features, television. She started doing ballet with me years ago. I remember those days, fighting with me too. She's directed several feature films. Amor y Sombras, Love and Shadows. She did a whole mini-series of Simón Bolívar in Latin America on a string budget, and it looks like she spent millions. And she also directed a feature film that's been released several places. I don't think in New York yet, Doña Bárbara. She also happens to be my sister, Miss Betty Capway. Come say something.
Look like twins, too.
Well, the right angle. Also, the photographer we have present, who's my official Danssaae photographer, is my mom, Ruth Antonoski.
Well, as a woman, and I've taken my beatings as a woman because we always get criticized more than men, I think. It was a pleasure to see so many women writing, and I think that's wonderful. I really enjoyed their pieces, and I really like the imagination that everybody had. And you too, Anya, not to exclude you. The imagination of trying to get inside the head of someone who actually lived. I mean, I think that's really interesting. And the secret, I think, of writing, because I also write, and especially I think for an actor to write is wonderful because it is a way to get more possibilities to act if you write. It's a way of also getting better material. and to show it in the theater and also write short films or features. It's really the secret, and the secret, I agree with you, Lorna. You have to keep writing and writing and writing and reading it and reading it. And my experience of screenwriting is that before you actually make the film, you go through at least 7 to 10 drafts of a screenplay. So to do one draft is nada, like nada. You know, you have to. Writing makes you sit down like the computer, and sometimes sit down and cry. Ah! But you know, you have to just keep going, and you keep going, it will get better and better and better, and you will get seen and heard, and it is possible. And we need those voices out there, especially the voices of Latinos, to tell the stories that especially happen here in the U.S. Stories of Latinos in the U.S. are very important. And the market for those stories is opening up more and more. So today, there's much more possibilities than ever before of that material actually getting to the stage or getting to the small screen television or to theatrical. So I definitely encourage you to keep writing. And thank you so much.
Okay, we're almost finished. I want to extend my thanks to, first of all, our invited audience, our workshop participants. I think they're great. Don't go anywhere. To Otilio Díaz for lending us la Casa Herencia. Elia Alvarado for being such a marvelous teacher. Tony Betancourt, who comes here to support us. Arnaldo Rodriguez, who also always supports us. Anita Velez Mitchell, who is there only here. Did I miss anybody? Who else? Who else? Of course, my mom. I already said thanks. Carmen, Betty, my chairman, Angel Elan, who's always there for me. You know, he helps me with these things incredibly. And besides that, he took the class. The only guy that survived to the end. Let's give him a applause. I said Arnaldo Rodriguez. I love Arnaldo. Are you kidding? And I invite you for some wine, soda, salad, cheese. I know we're starving. Thanks again. An announcement.
Well, on June 10th, we have over here Tony Betancourt's play, La Bruja... ¿Cómo se llama?
¿Cómo se llama?
La Bruja Verde, ¿no?
Green Witch.
On June 2nd and June 3rd, on the 7th floor, we have the fair, of the book fair, and also artisans fair. It's going to be very interesting. Artesanía y libros. It's very on Saturday from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and on Sunday from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night. It's very interesting. Artesanía.
Okay.
All books.
Thank you.
And
Junio 17.
Junio 3 y 4.
3 y 4.
De la Feria de Artesanía.
Ajá. En junio 17
Mañana
tenemos.
more film.
Sí, también.
More film.
17. En junio 17 vamos a tener una presentación del drama de Elizabeth Mitchell.
Okay, so
I'm reading.
okay, we also, tú me manda a mi casa.
You made it. You made it.
I made.
That was very nice. I was happy to see. They asked me, I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate it, but you know,
But it takes.
Should we take some of you? You're doing it. We do.
You know what you have to investigate on
Carolina. Gracias. Gracias a vosotros por añadir. Sí. Ahora tú lo dices y gracias.
I know, starting myself. Maybe over there, I don't know. I'd rather they be right over there. Sí. Where's mine? So I don't have phones. Here, have some wine and stuff. Go for it. Come, Angel, you're part of it. Well, where am I feeling you? Thank you, thank you. Now's the fun part. I want a photo with everybody. Okay, so we'll be in touch. Remember, I'm leaving and coming back. I'm going on a cruise with my mom. Go everywhere, go everywhere. Russia, Poland, Norway, Denmark. Sí, bueno, por eso quiero tomar una foto del grupo. Come on, ladies. Before police leave. Come. Okay, great. I hope you call me.
Right here?
Have them right here, honey.
Okay, so should we move
I
this?
have the light, you know, that I'm worried about. That's it. I mean, you know, get them here so I can have that big group in the background anyway.
Tony, vente. Carmen, se puede, vente. Anita, vamos a tomar un shot here. So they can eat something. We're sorry, right?
I think it's a big compliment. If you believe it's being fun,
Vente, Julissa. Carmen, Anita, venga, para sacar una foto del grupo. Where's Ellie? Sí, Carolina. Mira, si caímos en tu evento. You were very good actress. It's a very disorganized group. Come on. Get a little closer. No, I think we have to go even closer.
You gotta get closer, I can't get you on this.
Okay.
A little closer, can you all squeeze in?
There you
Or
go.
you go.
Carmen. Entramos.
Eso es.
It takes several.
That's it. Good, okay, that was fine.
Take several, Mom.
Well, you gotta look, guys. Be prepared for
Be
it.
cheesy.
Okay, look.
You get everybody on that side
I'm
too?
getting everybody, and I'm getting the few chairs too, which I
We'll move
don't
the
want.
chairs.
Move those chairs.
Maybe you want to go to the center,
Huh?
yeah?
I don't want the light, I want the light.
She takes
Fighting
really
that.
good photos. You want it in the
Ready?
Hello?
Cheesy.
Yay.
You got everything, you got them all too? Take another one, go further
Yeah, move
back.
from that angle.
Como decimos en Venezuela, crisis.
Ahora en el medio, ¿no?
Nope, I'm getting the window.
Move
I know.
Mira, tú estás delicioso.
Before. Yeah, that's good.
It's delicious up there. Ay, muchacho.
Wow.
Fernando Rodríguez.
Qué bien. Ah, qué bueno. ¿Usted lo hizo? Ah, usted lo
Sí, still get
Una más.
¿Tú quieres ensalada o dura?
Picture. Okay, let's have a beautiful photo. Why don't you put your arms around me? Come on, Daddy. You want me to bring that?
Dale. Yeah.
One left? One left. Okay. Maybe I'm not the one who's very Tengo que bajar a la estatura de ella.